Yeah, hi. My name is Eric. I'm from Singapore. I'm working in the finance industry, and my role, how has it been impacted by RG? I think it has helped me to reframe a lot of what I'm thinking about, and most importantly, the practical steps that I can take on in serving my clients and how I can impact the colleagues that I work with based on what I stand firm on. Before I applied RG, or when I was introduced to RG, I didn't quite know what is it about. Didn't quite expect much about it. I thought it's just like a couple of sessions and some conversations going on. So I went through the various different sessions, and I think what impacted me the most was after each session, there were many takeaways, and it takes a lot of time for me to digest and to understand what it really meant for me in my own marketplace. And now looking back, I'm so glad that I've gone through this journey, because every session has very practical application that I need to work on and to also share with the people around me. So my biggest learning is from Bob Dorr, one of the establishment of my transparency with God. We all know that God doesn't need us to say he knows what we are thinking and all, but I think it's the act of me declaring to God between myself and God. And I think that's something that is so easy to know but so hard to execute. I think that itself got me to think, how am I establishing my transparency with God? My greatest highlight of this whole entire program is the mentorship conversation. I'm glad that I'm paired up with somebody who's a veteran in this industry, and every meetup is an inspiration moment for myself. And every meetup with him, Paul, is a great takeaway, and going back to continuing working on what I need to do in my own circle. I took quite some time to think about what is my gospel action plan, and I think in one of my reflection, God has brought me to this verse, Mark chapter 16 verse 15, and it reads this: "Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation." I've read this verse before, but it has never came to me from this perspective. I'm from the insurance industry, and one of the things that I'm holding back a lot is, how do I proclaim the gospel to all the creations in the world? And God has convicted me and allowed me to see this verse in this perspective. In today's context, where we are going through the COVID, most of us are spending time at home and spending a lot of time on social media. And all the world, to me, what God has inspired me is at the different platforms of the social media, your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, and just blogs, basically the social media platform, and proclaiming the gospel. And I ask myself, am I adequate enough? Am I able to share the gospel? But God says to me, the gospel is not you being a pastor going out to teach or to preach, but He has given me the ability to know what are the right thing to do and what God wants me to do in the space of finance. So go out, share with people the area of what you know. And that's what it means to me for Mark chapter 16 verse 15. So that's my action gospel plan. And because of the conviction, I have started working with my partners in helping to get into the different platforms of social media. It is definitely getting me out of my comfort zone, but I know God is leading me in this space. Yeah. So, and in light of what the space is doing, or the financial planning space is doing, I've thought about it. Three things. First one is a highly competitive environment. People smear your name, sabotages, just so that you will not get ahead. Jealousy is very common. Sharing and giving often comes with conditions. If you want me to share, if you want me to give you something, you must give me something. High self-interest, low client interest is prevalent, regardless whether it's in insurance or in banking. Spending in the last 1 year in this industry gave me a lot of such insights, and I think God convicted me one thing is, if I were to put the client first, as what God has called me into this industry for, then what are the things that I'm sacrificing? And I'm very convicted to say this, that if it is something that's good for you, I will earn less, because this industry is commission driven. So it just means that if I can sell you a higher premium product, my commission will be better, but that doesn't mean it is good for you. So I'm convicted to earn less so that my client gets the best of it.